We spend so much of our lives chasing what we think of as success. The promotions, the recognition, the next big thing. But what if we've got that all wrong? What if that whole way of thinking is flawed? Today, we're going to dive into a totally different way to look at success, one that's not about what you get for yourself, but what you give to others. It's all about building a legacy, not of what you gained, but of what you contributed.
So, let's just start with a question that cuts right through all the noise. It's a big one, I know, but it's so important. When all is said and done, when everything else is stripped away, what do people actually regret most? Well, the answer from people who've actually been there is, it's pretty heartbreaking, and it's almost always the same. It's never about the money they didn't make or the awards they didn't win. Nope. The biggest regrets are almost always about the relationships they let drift apart and the time they spent climbing a ladder that was maybe leaning against the wrong wall the whole time.
And that kind of regret really points to something huge, a distinction that can literally reframe your whole life. The difference between just being a success and being a person of true value.
Albert Einstein, of all people, gave us this incredible piece of advice. It sounds so simple, right? But just think about it for a second. It completely flips the script on how we think about ambition. He's asking us to change the very reason we get out of bed in the morning.
And this breakdown here just lays it out perfectly. Chasing success is all about you. It's asking, how did I do? It needs an audience. It needs applause. But being of value, that's about other people. It's relational. It asks a totally different question. Whom did I serve? One is about getting. The other is about giving.
Okay, so if being of value is the real goal, how in the world do you measure that? Well, for that, we can look to the amazing wisdom of Ralph Waldo Emerson. He gives us this just beautiful and really human way of thinking about what it means to have truly succeeded.
Just let that one sink in for a minute. That single sentence just cuts through all the ego and the noise we attach to success. It's not about some grand, world-changing achievement. It's about the quiet, simple, but incredibly profound impact you can have on just one other person.
And when you look at Emerson's full definition, you see that a successful life isn't this one giant trophy you win at the end. It's actually woven together from all these smaller, really meaningful actions, like winning respect, appreciating beauty, finding the best in others, and leaving the world just a tiny bit better than you found it. The big idea here is that success becomes a daily practice, not some far-off thing you hope to reach someday.
And this all brings us right back to where we started, doesn't it? It's about the clarity you get at the end. Mortality has this incredible way of making all the illusions just dissolve. It cuts right through the busy work and the pointless ambitions we fill our days with and shows us what was really important the whole time. When that final audit of our life comes, the titles and the bank accounts just fade into the background. The real currency of a life well lived isn't what we collected. It's the connections we made. It's the love we gave and the peace we created. Those are the only riches we really get to keep.
So this brings us to a really powerful idea. Look, if we can't always control the outcomes in our lives, luck and timing are always part of the equation, what can we control? Well, we can control whether we are worthy of success.
I absolutely love this quote from Bill Bonner. It's so humble, but at the same time, it's incredibly empowering. It basically lets us off the hook. It frees us from all that pressure of having to guarantee a certain result, and instead helps us focus on the one thing we actually have control over, our own actions, our own integrity.
So, what is a worthy life? It's this. It's the deep sense of peace you feel when what you do is in harmony with what you believe, when your actions line up with your values. And whether you get applause for it or not, that honestly becomes secondary.
All right, so we've talked about a lot here. Moving from success to value, from applause to contribution, and from just focusing on outcomes to focusing on being worthy. So now, let's pull it all together and figure out how to turn this philosophy into something real, something you can actually do.
And so we end with this question. It takes that big, beautiful idea from Emerson and makes it immediate. It makes it personal. This isn't about some legacy you'll leave 50 years from now. It's about the impact you can have right now, today. See, your legacy isn't something you leave behind. It's something you build every single day, one small act of value at a time. So what will yours be?